Hi guys, it's Jenny, welcome back to my channel. So before I start, I do have a top on, by the way. It's just like off the shoulder so you can see it. So this week's video, I thought I would take it back to the old days and do a like full face tutorial. I haven't done one of these in literally ages. I've just recently been doing like just like eye makeup tutorials, and I like skip over the face part. But today I wanted to go through like pretty much everything because I have been loving watching them recently, and I do find them really helpful because you learn new like tips on how to do your makeup in like different ways, and also you can hear their thoughts on different makeup products. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I am going to be using the Jeffree Star Thirsty palette, which I've had this for quite a while now, and I've done a few looks with it over on my Musical.ly, which is linked in the description box. Actually, it's not called Musical.ly anymore, I believe it's called TikTok. But yeah, I've done quite a few looks using this palette over on there, so if you want to go check those out, my username is in the description box, so go have a look at those. But of course for today's video I'm going to do like a completely different look, so you get something new. Yeah. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want me to do more of these, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's just get on into the video, shall we? Okay, I am going to start off with my eyebrows. I'm going to fill those in quickly off camera. I usually fill them in before I even get on camera, but I completely forgot today. So yeah, I'm just going to be using the NYX Tame and Frame Tinted Brow Pomade. I have the shade Blonde, and it looks like that. I don't know if that's in focus. Hopefully that's in focus. But yeah, I'm gonna just quickly go do that off camera. Okay, my eyebrows are now on, so I'm going to prime my eyelids and like carve out my eyebrows using the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I have the shade C2 here, and I'm just going to take that on a flat brush and put it all over my eyelid. To set the concealer in place, I'm going to use the shade Parched, which is just like a really nudie, just a really pale shade, and it works well for me to set down my eyelids. Okay, so I've used this palette several times, but for today's look I'm going to try and use some shades that I don't really use very often, and I want to make it a little bit exciting, you know. So I'm actually going to try and do a halo cut crease, which I literally never do. I think I attempted it once but didn't turn out amazingly well, so we're going to try again today and we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to take Taste Bud first on a fluffy brush and just blend that through my crease as my transition shade, and I'm going to take this fairly high up as well, as we are going to be cutting like the middle of the eye. I find that these shades have like the perfect amount of pigment. They're not like overly pigmented, especially when you go on with really like a really fluffy brush like this. They just blend so easily, and they're like the easiest shadows to work with, which is amazing. I'm next going to take a bit of this shade right here, and I'm just going to blend that further into the crease to kind of like deepen it up a little bit, again keeping it just above my actual crease. And I'm going to be going in like several times with that shade Taste Bud and the same fluffy brush, just to like help blend everything out nicely. Next I'm going to take this shade here, which is called Stroke, and I'm just going to use that to place on the outer and inner corner to start creating the halo eye. So I'm going to use like a small like packer brush, and whenever I like do a halo eye, I pack it on pretty messily, and I don't bother about like blending it out straight away. I just like to get the colour on there, and then I'll take like a fluffy brush to blend it out. So I'm going to take the second shade that we used, which was called Bitch, bitch. And I'm just going to use that to very lightly blend out that stroke shade. And you also want to pack this on the inner corners. I always get kind of like scared when I'm doing a halo eye because it's like putting a dark shade on your inner corners just feels really like unnatural. I find as well that halo eyes look so messy like when you're doing them, but then eventually like they will come together really nicely and they look stunning on people. I think I'm going to take a bit of the shade Drizzle, which is just like a dark cool toned brown. I'm going to put that right on that outer edge of the eye, just a tad, to really deepen that up. Okay, so now it's time to cut out the centre part of your eye. I'm going to again use the same Revolution concealer. Another concealer I'd actually really recommend for cut creases is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. That I find really good to do cut creases because it's like really thick, and I find that a thick concealer is super easy to use when you're doing cut creases. Again, I'm going to take like a flat brush. I think that's the best when you do a cut crease. You just want like a flat brush. And I'm going to pop some concealer onto my brush. And I'm just going to go for it really. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see because cut creases I have to get really close up to my mirror. But hopefully you can see a little bit. So I like to pop some on the centre of my eye and then look up. And then it will transfer, and then that tells you where to cut your crease. I am going to switch to a really thin brush just to get like the top right on the crease line to really sharpen it up. To blend out the edges, what I like to do is just take my little finger and just tap very lightly on the edges of the concealer, and then that should kind of blend it in, and then I do go over with powder as well to help blend it. Okay, so as you can probably see, the lines aren't the neatest in the world, but I'm going to leave it at that because honestly, like, I feel a bit stressed doing it, but whilst the concealer is still wet, I'm going to go in with my like shimmer shade, and I'm going to take the shade Snatched, which is that one right there, and using my finger, which is by the way the best way to apply these, I'm just going to stamp that on the middle. And then as the concealer is still wet, I am going to go in with a brush just to define the top bit. Okay, so that's on there. I'm actually going to add a tiny bit of Lick, which is that gold one right there. Again, I'm just going to take it on my little finger and I'm just going to stamp that on as well. So now that we've got that on there, I'm just going to go back in with that stroke shade and just go back over the outer and inner corner just to help everything blend together. So I start by like stamping it on, and then I'll go in with the fluffy end and very lightly, like I'm like tapping it, just blend towards the edges where the shadow and the glitter meet. And then I basically just keep doing that until I'm happy with how it looks. Okay, so I just went and cleaned up any of that fallout, because now I'm going to start on the face. So let's start with priming. Recently I've been loving the Cover FX blurring primer. I actually got this from TK Maxx for $4.99. can you even believe? It reminds me a lot of the Professional, like it definitely looks like it, but it's just really good at like smoothing your skin, like filling out your pores. Filling in your pores. Next I'm going to use something that I haven't used yet and I've been dying to use it. So this is also by Cover FX and I did get it from TK Maxx. It was $4.99 as well. What a bargain. This is the Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Halo and it looks like this. It is so pretty. This is what it looks like. OMG. So stunning. So I want to use that today as kind of like a primer. Okay, let's drop some on my brush. We do thick. Okay, she's thick. Ooh, whoa, she's really thick. I remember like people used to do this. Nikki Tutorials like started doing this where she would use super glowing products as like a primer, and I always thought it was so cool because she would use it on top of like a matte foundation and I thought that was a cool idea, so yeah, that's why I'm kind of trying that out. I'm just gonna like smear it on my face. I'm kind of annoyed that the dropper's not working. Like there's stuff in there but it's not coming out. Feels weird. Like I was half expecting it to be like an oil or just feel really wet, but it doesn't. I like can't feel it. It does transfer a lot but I can't feel it on my skin. Right, let's go in with foundation. Today I'm going to use the Collection Lasting Perfection Ultimate Wear Foundation. I rarely use this because it's honestly like so pale for me. I have the lightest shade which is Cool Ivory. It just makes me look dead. Like it honestly suits me because my neck and body is so pale. But yeah, it makes me look dead, but it's a pretty matte foundation, so that's why I want to use it over the top of this primer. This foundation does have pretty good coverage though. Wow, I look so strange. I look like I've got a disease, honestly. Anyway, to conceal my under eyes and my face, I'm gonna go back in with that Revolution concealer. I'm going to set my entire face using the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This is seriously the only powder I really ever use. I don't like spending a lot of money on powder for some reason. Like there's nothing wrong with the Rimmel one and it's like £4 I think maybe, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, so that's why I use it. Okay, I'm going to quickly set my eyebrows using the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. Ooh, my hair. Okay, to bronze up my face, I'm going to use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil powder. This is still the same little tester that I've literally been using for like years. I got this when I went to Paris. I got it in the Sephora there in like a Too Faced like set, and that was like 3 years ago maybe, and I just haven't run out, so it's lasted me such a long time. I haven't even hit pan, which is pretty insane, but I don't really use it very often because I kind of think it's like too dark for me. The only times I'll really use it is on camera and when I go out, because like out because there are times that you want to look a bit more bronze. I always put some on my nose, like always, so otherwise I find that like my nose just kind of gets lost, so I always make sure to run some over my nose. Put way too much, but don't worry, I'll tone it down. Okay, for blush I'm going to use, I don't really want to use anything too shimmery. So I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Love Flush blush in Baby Love. I have a little tester of this as well, which lasts me ages because who goes through an entire blush? For highlighter, I'm going to use the one from this Sleek Face Form palette. There's the middle one there. You can tell I love the bronzer as well. The highlight in this is so good. Like, honestly, it's so good. The blush don't use too much just because it's like really quite shimmery. But yeah, the highlight and the bronzer are A+. Would highly recommend. And it's sleek, so it's like not even breaking the bank too much, which is amazing. I'm like really into highlighting my forehead now. Like, I don't know why, but I'm so into highlighting my forehead. And then I always do the tip of my nose, and then I like to do this bit. Like, I don't know what it's called. It's not like in between your eyebrows, it's like the bridge of your nose. Yeah, I've been liking doing that bit, and I always make sure to put some on the apples of my cheek. Right, moving back onto the eyes, I'm going to finish off the lower lash line. I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to take the shade Stroke first. Shouldn't have taken that first. Right, I'm going to put that on my outer corner and inner corner. And then I'm going to take the shade Bitch and use that to kind of like buff it out. I'm going to take a little bit of Taste Bud as well to help blend out the edges. Next I'm going to take that Snatched shade on my little finger again, and I'm just going to pop that right on the centre of my lower lash line. Okay, then I'm just going to curl my eyelashes and I'm going to apply some of the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast mascara. Okay, so let's quickly finish this look off with the lips. I want to go for something quite like deep and then probably maybe lighten up the centre. So I'm going to take the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Barracuda. I literally haven't used this in ages. It honestly takes me so long to put anything but lip gloss onto my lips because I honestly just suck at applying it. Like, I don't even know why, but I'm so bad at applying it. I get it like just all over my mouth. But yeah, that actually looks super cute, but I do kind of want to lighten up the centre. I'm going to take a little bit of this NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Cans. I'm just going to put some like on my finger and just use that to, I'm just going to like dab it onto the centre. See if that does anything. Let's actually, this is the reason I never ever wear shades like this out, because look, what? It's like a freaking 4-year-old did it. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that because I just don't want to mess with it anymore. With that done, that is it for this makeup look. I hope you guys like it. I actually love how it turned out, especially with this lip. I just think it ties the look together like really well. I love the eyes. Like, the eyes are looking fab. Absolutely obsessed with this palette. Go check it out. I love that you can do something like really deep and smoky, but then you've also got these really fun colours at the bottom to do something light and summery. Even though we're coming out of summer now, this is a very good autumn look. But yeah, I honestly adore this palette. The shades work so well and I would highly recommend you get it if this is in your budget at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know if you want me to do any more of these. I'm pretty sure I said that exact same thing in the intro, in which case I'm very sorry. I don't know what's going on today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't already. Yeah, I hope you're having a lovely week and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!